Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx. I am Jay Fenixx, and this is going to be your daily reading for today, November 19th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I know I haven't made a daily in a while. I know I said I wasn't going to make a daily for the remainder of the month of November, but obviously that is not the case. And honestly, I'm really excited to be getting out some new cards. And admittedly, I have quote-unquote given up on this year's NaNoWriMo National Novel Writing Month Challenge. I haven't given up on writing. This was an interesting month for me. I needed time to really dive deep within myself, within my subconscious. But I am back to doing dailies. I'm really excited because I have 2 new decks, which I received from my solo return for my birthday. Thank you so much to my wonderful partner Lauren for gifting me with these, and I really just was super excited to show you my new cards, guys. Anyways, let's dive into these cards, right? Let's see what we have for today, for the 19th of November. Well, card-wise, we do have the card of the Magician, and we also have the Knight of Wands. And these are supported by the Hanged Man. And this is going to be one of those days where really, that you can really be feeling the magic. You really can feel like you can create anything and go for what you want. Now, there's an element with the supporting card of the Hangman. There's this element of, having to trust. There's this element of having to have faith in the universe and that things are going in the right direction. But you're going to be carrying with you, embodying this energy of the Magician. And this is going to be, in many ways, kind of propelled by this Knight of Wands energy. So we're definitely going to be wanting to create, bring things forward, to manifest. And with the Knight of Wands, it's going to bring about definitely some passion, some fiery energy, and a bit of an impulse. So there could be definitely some restlessness to today. There definitely can be some moments today where you're wanting to almost force the issue, but maybe things have to evolve on their own time. And what I love about this deck, with the Magician, it shows the red-faced monkey, which reminds me of the Japanese snow monkeys that bathe in the hot springs, which I think is so very applicable for this time right now, being a Scorpio time, heading into Sagittarius. It's getting colder here in the northern hemisphere, and this is just kind of, I think this is a reminder of, no matter what the conditions are, you can still come from a place of warmth. You can still come from a place of this inner heat, And in times when it's cold, these monkeys, they bathe in the hot springs, they huddle around each other, they take care of each other. And this is going to be a day really where you want to take care of yourself. You want to take care of other people around you, of course, and your loved ones. You want to come together, bring together that warmth. And there's magic within that warmth, right? You gotta think, this is the week of Thanksgiving. And this is the time where families come together and they bring together that warmth. By having good food, having good company, watching football, if that gives you warmth. But what I also love about this deck, we have the Hangman, which is represented by a tiger. And a tiger is one of the most fierce animals that we know in the wild, the tiger. And I love the fact that this tiger is also blue, because I think what this is saying is that this is talking about how we do have this fierceness to us. We have this strength to us, this undeniability of our power, and how even the tiger can get hung up sometimes. Even the tiger can feel like, he or she is just hanging there. And we can feel like, man, I have all this power, I have all this untapped potential. The tiger in Chinese mythology is the only animal that was seen to be able to rival the dragon, the benevolent, radiant, powerful dragon. And yet the tiger was able to rival the dragon in Chinese mythology. So there's definitely this element of power. However, we are having to trust and have faith that things are going to work out in our favor, and that maybe we don't necessarily need to force the issue with the Knight of Wands, but still take that passion, still take that fiery drive, and focus it and hone in on a creative project, or hone in on something that we're wanting to bring forth. But there's also, like I said, this element where we need to remember that, we don't have all the answers, that we are still, we are infinite beings. Absolutely. You see the infinity sign above the magician. We are infinite beings, but we are within this hallucination, within this dream, playing out the human experience. So it's a humbling experience to have seemingly our power stripped away from us, but it's not really stripped. We have to access it in a different way. Let's turn to the astrology, and I have these other cards which I really love the colors. I love both of these decks. The first deck was the Line Strider Tarot deck, and this one's kind of like an astrology deck where literally it depicts the planets, the signs, and then the elements. So astrologically today, we do have the moon, which is going to be trining off to Mercury, which is in Sagittarius. Mercury, of course, right now, which is retrograde. And actually, at the time of me recording this trine is happening. And I really feel like this trine between the moon and Mercury is really going to set the tone for the day. It's interesting, like I said, we have the Knight of Wands, so we already have the fire element, and then we have Mercury, which is in the fire sign of Sagittarius, which it prefers not to be in. And then we have the moon, which is in the fire sign of Aries. So we get this cardinal fire, and then we get this mutable fire. So cardinal, of course, talking about, having some sense of direction and power and aiming. And it's funny because Sagittarius, it's ruled by, the archer. So it's about taking aim. But it's interesting how Sagittarius being the sign of taking aim is mutable. So it's almost like sometimes we feel like we're aiming our arrow into life and we don't know where the target's going to land. Or we don't know where our arrow's going to land. We don't know what target's going to land on. And that, in many ways, is how life is. In many ways, we pull back the arrow, and we shoot into life, and we don't really know where it's going to land. We think we're aiming for something, but we don't really know where this arrow is going to land. The moon, of course, representing our emotions, and also it's a reflective energy. It amplifies whatever energy it's in. So with the moon being in Aries, it's going to amplify this cardinal fire energy, this wanting to initiate action, this wanting to initiate certain things forward, this wanting to take action. So we are all going to be wanting to feel like we want to take some action and some kind of even act on impulse. And this trine over to Mercury, which is the planet of communication, which right now is in retrograde in Sagittarius, means that we're wanting to take some type of action based off of our belief structures and what we think about our beliefs. But since this is a retrograde planet with Mercury, we're having to go through this review period. So there can be a bit of tension today where we want to act on certain beliefs, but do those beliefs align with our higher purpose right now? We have to ask ourselves if certain beliefs that we have, whether or not they are serving us. We can discover today that we may have self-limiting beliefs that actually hold us back. And some of these self-limiting beliefs actually can be relating back to the hangman, how we feel like we are kind of just hanging there, and we feel like instead of trusting the universe that we have to force the issue. And with this is a trine, so this is bringing about a miracle birth. So there's definitely going to be a birthing coming forth, and these are trining at 12 degrees, by the way. There's definitely going to be some type of birthing and a miracle coming forth. So there's definitely an opportunity for you to recognize and become aware of any beliefs that you have that may or may not resonate with your higher purpose, that may not resonate with where you are right now in your current life, in your current situation. And this can, allow or disallow you to take certain actions needed to reach the level that you want to reach to in your life. But this is, of course, like I said, Mercury's involved here, so there's definitely some restlessness. There's definitely some, wanting to push things forward, and there's definitely going to be some impulsive energy. But this trine is, like I said, it's bringing about a miracle. So there's definitely going to be, I would almost say, like a miracle healing as far as our beliefs go. Maybe we actually begin to trust more. We begin to trust the universe more. We begin to trust God, Goddess more. That when we pull back our arrow and we aim into life and we're wanting to manifest and bring things forth and really exude our magical badass selves, that we have to trust that whatever target it lands on is the right target, and whatever target it lands on is the right target. I think that's part of our mind right now, since it's in retrograde. A lot of times the mind is what rules so many people's lives, because we think things have to be a certain way. But really right now what's happening is that our minds are right now being recalibrated by the gods. The gods are really working on our minds right now. So this is definitely a moment where we have to just trust and have faith. And the weird conundrum about faith is that having faith requires faith, because it's like, it's unseen, it's subtle, mostly unknown, and we have to have the courage and the strength to trust anyways. Now, the other aspects that we have astrologically today, we do have Mars in Pisces, which is going to square off to Jupiter, which is in Sagittarius. And this is pretty interesting here too, because Jupiter, first of all, it's at home in Sagittarius, right? But the interesting thing about it is that Jupiter is also a co-ruler of Pisces energy, and Mars doesn't necessarily, we would prefer not to be in Pisces, because it feels like you can't really get as much things done because it can get caught up in its dreams and stuff. So with this square, this is going to bring about some type of conflict, some type of strain, and a challenge to overcome, to where with Mars and Pisces, of course, we're going to be wanting to act on our dreams. We're going to be wanting to dream more and bring this to fruition. But with Jupiter in Sagittarius, it's really asking us, where do our beliefs lie? How do we expand? How do we explore our surroundings? How do we explore our world? How do we travel? And travel doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get up and go somewhere. This can be traveling in the sense of, you going within yourself. So this can definitely be a day where meditation can be very, very powerful, because we have such high cosmic energy today. We have a lot of these. We're starting to get into the final 4 signs of the zodiac, which are very high vibrational, otherworldly energies. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We're starting to get into the zone now. We're starting to feel more of this energy, which means that now the gods, the goddesses, are really starting to come forth. These aspects of ourself are really beginning to come forth and come to the forefront. So this square with, like I said, with Mars over to Jupiter is definitely going to bring some type of a challenge. But I think since Jupiter likes to be in Pisces too, this is actually going to be a pretty beautiful reception. And the interesting thing is that Mars actually would prefer to be in Sagittarius, if anything. So it's not even so much that Jupiter would prefer to be in Pisces, but it's the fact that Mars would rather be in Sagittarius, and Jupiter can be in Pisces or Sagittarius. So this challenge is not really, I think the challenge of this aspect is realizing that yes, we have certain things and obstacles that we need to overcome. We can get caught up in certain delusions. We can get trolled heavily, because Pisces energy, Neptune energy is very much so a troll. So we control ourselves in sitting around and dreaming too much. There's nothing wrong with dreaming, especially right now. This is almost a time where, like I said, dreaming is actually going to give you more powerful, really tapping into your imagination. But what are you going to do about it? There's still an element of we have to do something about it. It's not enough just to sit there and dream about the house that you want. How are you going to get the money to go get that house? It's not enough to just sit around and dream, and this is me talking to myself with this one. It's not enough about dreaming about writing that novel. You have to actually sit down and do it. You have to sit down and do it. Now, the other astrological thing that we have going on today, which features two of my favorite cards in this deck. Oh my gosh, these cards are beautiful. We have the moon in Aries, which is going to square off to Pluto in Capricorn. And let me just say, I didn't say it before, but the moon and Pluto are my favorite cards in this deck so far. I think the moon is just very beautiful and elegant, and Pluto is just badass. I love this Pluto card. Like, you're not like you're not gonna fuck with this guy. You're not going to fuck with him. Like, if I saw this dude Pluto, and I gotta tell you guys, I pretty much am Pluto, right? I have so much Plutonian energy, so I understand this vibration. But like, you're not gonna fuck with this guy. You're not gonna fuck with this guy. So definitely with this moon squaring off to Pluto, we're going to, like I said, wanting to act on things and move things forward. You know, the moon's going to be amplifying this Aries energy, wanting to act and initiate things. But to square off the Pluto and Capricorn, we have this reminder of, oh, is that a structure that's collapsing? Oh, is that a tradition that is being destroyed? Oh, are you sure you want to go into this area? You know, I think another thing, well, really what I'm seeing is that someone is like really excited to do something, and they're like, I see an adventurer, right? I see an adventurer who's really excited because they want to go to this school in a faraway land, because they heard that this school, let's just say it's the magic, astrology, esoteric art school, right? They do all kinds of stuff, and they want to go to this place, right? And they're super excited because they heard so many things about this school, right? And so this person, this adventurer, they travel, they cross mountains, they cross oceans to get to this school. But by the time they get to the school, it's not there anymore. The school has been burned down. It's been destroyed. And it's like, well, shit. Now what do I do? So I think there's an element of that today where we may be trying to aim for things or go for certain things that by the time we get there, it's either going to be destroyed or transformed. I think really that's what it is. It's like the adventurer gets there and they see that the school was destroyed, and I'm like, oh crap, I really wanted to go to this school. But if they just go a mile up the road, there's a bigger, better, more updated school. But sometimes we can get caught up on the ruins. We can get caught up on the destruction that is in front of us, and we stop. We don't act anymore. And a lot of times that can happen, right? Sometimes when we are pursuing things, you got to think this is Capricorn energy. So this is talking about your legacy. This is talking about, how you are seen in society. Capricorn is how do you use things, how you utilize things, how you what you choose to do, that energy. So it's like, sometimes when we're working towards certain things and we have these failures, we have these ruins, we have these collapse of ideals, we stop at the ruins instead of going a little bit further and either restructuring those ruins, or we can burn things away so new things can be born from that. This is still Scorpio energy. This is still the sun of Scorpio, so there's definitely a element of the Phoenix rising here. And there's so much astrologically. There's so much energy of this. We have a lot of this Mars energy. We are definitely wanting to act. We're definitely wanting to move things forward, right? Because we have the moon in Aries, we have Mars, we have this Mars energy. And then we also have, like I said, towards the end of the day, we're going to have this moon squaring off Pluto. So there's a lot of this action, initiation energy where we're wanting to move things forward. We're wanting to, our personalities are really going to be shining through in a very powerful way. But there has to be this element of surrender. There has to be this element of trust and faith that when we embark on this journey, and then we encounter ruins, when we encounter challenges, when we encounter breakdowns, when we encounter these aspects, when we encounter moments where our beliefs are challenged, when we encounter these moments where our dreams are challenged, do we give up? Do we just stay there? And there's nothing wrong with sitting in the ruins for some time, rummaging through, finding old pictures. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But how long are you going to stay in there? How long are you going to sit in that space? How long are you going to keep the dirt and the soot all over your face and your body? There's a nearby river. Bathe yourself in it. Cleanse yourself in it. Transform. There's a miracle being birthed today, and that miracle is this tenacity and this strength to move forward no matter what happens. There's, like I said, there's this serious element of faith and trust that, this blue tiger being held up. The tiger is such a strong creature. To be tied up, it would make it seem like, oh my goodness, even if the tiger gets, tied up, like, what am I? There's definitely some vulnerability today, but at the same time, you're gonna feel your power. I almost feel it. I see it almost like a super powerful car, like it has a super powerful engine, and it's trying to get going, but it just can't. It's almost like you get into this car, this super powerful muscle car, and you start driving this car, and it doesn't sound like a muscle car. It just kind of like, and it has a weak ass horn too. It's like, it just, there could be an element of that today where we can feel like we're getting trolled by the universe, where it's like, oh my gosh, you give me all this infinite power, and I'm trying to put in work here, but my output seems like it's not really doing anything. It may seem like that way, but in truth, we are really being set up, and we're really being guided to where we are supposed to be. So when you pull back your arrow today and you aim for that target, don't fear and don't have anxiety and worry about where that arrow is going to land, because even if you are aiming for something, you don't really know where that arrow is going to land. And a lot of times we can suffer by attaching ourselves to an ideal or to a belief that we think it's supposed to be, where we think it's supposed to be a certain way. We attach ourselves to an ideal when really you want to let go and let God. You want to let go and let Goddess. The numbers for these cards, the Hangman, the Knight of Wands, and the Magician, they actually reduce to the number 5. And the number 5 is, it signals freedom and change, it signals adventure, and it is ruled by the planet Mercury. So that's why I said that this moon trine Mercury is really going to set the tone for the day, because even though, like I said, this is a trine, so it's going to bring about some type of miracle, something that's going to be born out of this. And even though Mercury, like I said, is in retrograde motion, there's definitely going to be a rekindling of our belief in ourselves, and a rekindling in our belief in spirit. So, but this is also going to bring about, there's going to be some restlessness here. There's going to be a bit of anxiety here, and it's going to be a risk. Going for your dreams is a risk. You want to know why it's a risk? Because we have a lot of people around us. You have a lot of people around you that will tell you otherwise. Oh, you want to be a professional singer? Don't do that. That's not practical. Oh, you want to go play professional sports? Oh, don't do that. That's not practical. What if you hurt yourself? Oh, you want to be an astrologer full time? Oh, that's not practical. Astrology's not important. It's not popular. We have a lot of doubts and people that are saying certain things, and it's not everybody, but for the vast majority of it, what you will find is that it really comes down to you. And it comes down to whether you have faith and trust in yourself. So, like I said, embrace this energy of the 5, of freedom, of change, and being the adventurer, and traveling within your own soul, within your own cosmos, and realize that even though you may be a diamond in the rough, you are a diamond nonetheless. Sometimes things just take time to manifest. And I think today, if we let go and let Goddess, we will definitely, the target that our arrow lands on, we will be so happy and so joyous and so blissed out Now we'll be like, wow, that actually went better than what I thought it was going to be. That actually went better than my original plan. And of course it would, because it's the universe that's in control of this. That is it for your reading today. I know it's a little bit longer, but I really enjoyed diving into the cards and the astrology and the numbers. So I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to astrofenixx.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.